here? Amen. I feel the Lord in this place here this morning. I want to encourage you to keep praising Him and let God talk to you. Everybody say, let's just do something. Turn to your neighbor and say, I want to do something. Amen. You may be seated. Getting involved in missions will change your life. Amen. Our brother Carpenter talked about being changed this morning. Was he convinced? Did he sound convinced? Anybody hear what I hear? What I heard this morning? Amen. Being a part of something that is outside of your world will bring so much more into your world. God can use that. You can be a blessing. You can be a strength. You can be a help. Amen. And God can use you. You have a purpose. You don't have to be an appointed missionary to make a difference in missions. Amen. We have many young people who have said, I want to do something, and they have gone on a missions trip. We have 2 young ladies that just left for Africa yesterday or the day before. And we have some young people that we're going to bring and let them tell you a little bit about what happened in their life when they went on a missions trip. For the past 4 years, Apostolic Man Ministry and Global Missions have teamed up in Ontario to go on a mission trip to build a church and a school and to go to somewhere else in the world to make a difference. It has been a tremendous blessing, and we invited you to come with us. Of course, you have to have your pastor's permission, don't forget that. But we are inviting you to come with us. Amen. And we want you to get involved. It will change your life. We need people that can work. We need people that can pray. We need people that can be friendly. We need people that can be kind. We need people that can speak other languages. We need people that can have nursing and medical skills. There is no end to what kind of a blessing that you can be. On some of our missions trips recently, we have visited congregations that have not had an outside visitor more than 40 years. I don't think you understand what that means for somebody from the outside world to come and visit you and to remind you that there's a big church out there with lots of people that are praying and believing God just like you are. It's significant. It's impactful. It changes your life. You can be a blessing. And unless you go, you can only think about how great it is. But I'm inviting you and encourage you to get involved in missions. Talk to your pastor. Say, Pastor, what can we do to make a difference? Can I go on a missions trip? There's international youth missions trips that you can get on. There's other things that you can be involved. And it's tremendous, and it'll be life-changing. Amen. I have some young people that I want them to come and tell you a little bit about what happened on their trip. And I'm going to start off with Savannah. This is she recently went on her 3rd missionary trip with our Apostolic Man team, and I want her to come and tell you a little bit about it.
Good morning and welcome. My name is Savannah Church, and I've had the amazing opportunity to go on a missions trip to Paraguay and Peru. There's something just about the amazing congregation and the people there. They have such a family, and there's so many things that I could say about it, but I will never forget one time we were in Lima, and there was, everybody's there as they do their absolute best for the Lord and the church, and there was a lady there, and she had probably her best outfit on, and she had her hair all done nice, and she had her best shoes on, and she was down on her hands and knees on the dirt floor, just praising and pouring her heart out to the Lord, and it really touches me. I'm going to try not to get emotional here, but it really shows that how privileged we are to be worshiping in such an amazing sanctuary. It's a just with amazing people, that they're with people that have absolutely nothing, pour out their whole heart to the Lord, and it really does inspire me. There's so many things I could say about our trip that the only thing I could really do to sum up our missions trip this year is that my word has changed. That's all I can really say to sum up what I've done. But my mom has always told me this before, even she still tells me that never lose sight of where you've been, but never lose sight of where you're going. And I really do. It sticks with me every time I go to these missions trips, is that never lose sight of where you've been, but never lose sight of where you're going. Thank you.
Awesome. Brooke has had a heart for missions, and I believe has a call of God on her life. I won't be the least bit surprised if she's an aimer someday, and maybe even a missionary's wife. Brooke, come talk to me.
Praise the Lord, everybody. Growing up, if there was one thing that my dad always instilled in us kids, it was to always have a world vision. And as a result of my upbringing, I've always wanted to visit mission fields. It can be so easy to get caught up in the busyness of our everyday lives and what needs to be done in our own churches, and even in our own district. We tend to forget that outside of Ontario, there's a whole world that needs Jesus. He needs to hear the truth. Going on this trip gives you the chance to be a part of a work and a plan that is much bigger than you are. In 2015, I had the opportunity to go on my very first mission trip to the country of Peru. We spent our time building a new apostolic Pentecostal church in the countryside of Malta. Going to Peru had a huge impact on my life, and it has been the most humbling experience I've ever had. The people and their dedication towards God was unmistakable. They lived in makeshift homes and made little to no money, but still, they were so thankful about what they did have and were passionate and true-hearted in worship. They were at such a point of desperation that they had no other option but to rely on God for their needs each and every day. Most of us in this room today have never had to go through the experience of not knowing where our next meal is going to come from, or how we're going to make it to the next day, month, or year. Living in North America, it can be so easy to take for granted the blessings that God has given us each and every single day. Food, shelter, a bed to sleep in, clothes on our back, these are all things that we're so fortunate to have. I had grown to love the country of Peru within the 2 short weeks that I had spent there. The following year, I was invited to return back to South America for another mission trip, this time to the country of Paraguay. Our goal of this trip was to build a second floor to the already existing school for underprivileged children. Paraguay was the same kind of situation. There was a lot of poverty, and the majority of people had to rely on God to make it through each day. I was so moved by the children who I had met, who all had a heart for God and wanted to be used, that when the birds, the missionaries of Paraguay, asked me to come back and work for the school over the summer, I didn't even have to think about my answer. Over the following 2 months, I was involved with the church and the school and do whatever I could to help out and try and make an impact, no matter how small it may have been. I made lasting friendships and had the opportunity to grow in my ministry. I had the privilege of witnessing a number of children receive the Holy Ghost, some for the first time and many, many refillings, and 2 were baptized in Jesus. So I'm here to encourage you today. If you're interested in missions and want to experience it for yourself, do it. Talk to your pastor, contact Brother Church, and find out what the next mission trip is. And get involved. It doesn't matter how old you are. I was a 16-year-old kid who wanted to get involved and experience missions for myself. You don't have to have any special skills or talents, you just have to be willing. And I promise you that you will not regret it. The experiences that you have will last a lifetime, and God will use it to impact your life and your mission.
stories that really impacted me the most, but I was one of those people that never saw myself that was out to go out on the mission field, and I never planned to do it myself. I never set out to raise any funds until my pastor, Brother Church, took me aside one day and he's just like, I want you to come to Paraguay and Peru with us this year. And so I embarked to raise some funds and make my way to buy the flights and to get myself there. And I'm so thankful that he did that, because that trip forever changed my life. As I began to travel down the streets that those people travel on every day, and I began to see the lives that these people live, I began to realize how truly blessed that I am. And I began to see the things that I take for granted every week. When I go to church on Sunday, I have an air-conditioned building that I get to go sit in and worship and have my way. But these people, they go to church and they don't have the air conditioning. It's kind of like camp every single week, and it's a little bit different. They don't have carpet. A lot of the churches don't have concrete floors. They have dirt floors. And as Savannah was talking about, there was this one church the Sunday before we left and came back home, that this lady walked in, and it impacted me just as much as it impacted her. This lady came in all dressed up, and you could tell that she had put her time and effort into looking good to come to the house of the Lord. And as she walked up, she went to the front row and sat there, and I was just like, wow, she doesn't look like the other people who walked in there. And worship began to continue. And as the service continued, her knees hit the dirt floor, and then soon followed her face, and she was just weeping before the Lord. And that began to touch my heart, because I was like, I need to be more hungry, and I need to be more thirsty to see a move of God. And that single moment changed my entire perspective of how I live my life for God. I believe that I could just push a little bit further to get something from God, to do something for the kingdom of God. I've been blessed so that I can bless other people. And I'm thankful that God taught me that lesson when I went to South America.
My wife and I were in Poland, and they were describing that there were over 40 capital cities in Europe and the Middle East where there was no apostolic meeting place. Brother Tuttle was speaking. Top on his list was Stockholm, Sweden. And you couldn't have to sit there and cry. And I even thought, well, maybe a 50-year-old guy could go over there and do something. So my wife and I promised Brother Tuttle we'd go look. We got there, the capital city of Stockholm, and the pastor had kind of left the congregation, and there was only like 4 or 5 people in the room. And my wife and I were looking at each other going, this is probably not what we're going to do. I didn't feel a thing. But then I looked over at Craig, and tears were flowing down his face. And I realized this is not about me. This is about a young man that's finding what God wants in his life.
Amen. There's an old song that goes, count your blessings, count them one by one, count your many blessings and see what God has done. So that's what we're going to do here this morning. I'm going to look over the past 365 days of my life, and we're going to go back and we're going to see what God has brought me through. So as Brother Pickard already mentioned, last year, if we go back exactly 365 days to this exact weekend, family camp, my mom was talking to my aunt, Sister Pickard, and Sister Pickard brought up the fact, hey, me and Brother Pickard, we're going to Sweden, we're going on this trip, we're going to go check out this church, and Mom perks up because she knows I've always loved the Scandinavian region, and she goes, Craig's always wanted to go to Scandinavia, and she brings that up, and of course, Sister Pickard always being her inviting self, she's like, why doesn't he join us? Why doesn't he come along? And that year I had just graduated from school, I had just graduated from television broadcasting, and so I was I was working for my dad, and I was trying to pay off school debt, and I was trying to start my career, but it was like, so it was kind of a little bit of a weighing of an option, but in the end, I decided to go, because it was like, well, why not? I mean, I've always loved Scandinavia. That's ancestrally where I'm from. I mean, my lineage is Danish, and so I've always wanted to, go back to the motherland, and so I decided I would join them on that trip. And so that decision right there that I made to say, okay, I'll go with the Pickards on this trip was a big turning point in my life, because it was a point where I made myself available to be used by God. Because before, during that summer, it was a lot about me. I was on the me train. I'm going to pay off my school debt. I'm going to try and start my career. I'm looking for my job. And so when I made that decision to go to Scandinavia, I got off the me train, and I made myself available for God to do a work in my life. So in August, we head over to Sweden, and we go up to Falun. There's 2 churches in Sweden. There's one in Stockholm, and there's one 3.5 hours north in Falun. And so we go up and we visit the missionary, the pastor, the aimer there in Falun, and we go to the service, and of course, it's all in Swedish because that's what they speak, and so they're singing in Swedish, and I do not have a clue what they're saying. I mean, the only Swedish I knew at that point was, hey, hey, which is a greeting, or like, "Jag pratar inte svenska," which is, I don't speak Swedish, please can we converse in English? That's all I had at that point. So song service is going on, and I don't have a clue what is happening. And suddenly I feel this very heavy feeling come upon me. And whenever I get into prayer, I'm a big crier. I can bawl my eyes out, no problem. And so it was that kind of feeling that was being pressed upon me. And I was like, the Swedes, they're very reserved people. They're like myself. We're very laid back. We're very to ourselves. And so I didn't want to just, burst out crying in the middle of the song service. I didn't want to be that guy. And so I kind of pushed that feeling off, and I was like, you know what? How about just not right now? And so as soon as the feeling went away from me, I kind of knew I messed up. I did something a little wrong. God was trying to put something on me, and I pushed it off. And so I sat down in the middle of the song service, and I just prayed, God, send that feeling back. I don't want to miss out what you have for me today. I don't want to miss out what you were trying to impress upon me. And of course, I just bawled my eyes out for a good 5 minutes, and that was that. And so I knew the situation in Stockholm. I knew that the pastor had left. I knew that there was a vacancy there and that they needed help. But I wasn't quite yet ready to accept that mission. I wasn't ready to go full in yet. And so I said, okay, God, that was morning service today in Falun. We're going down to Stockholm tonight. If I feel you the way that tonight that I did this morning, then I'll say, okay, I'll be the one who comes back. And so we drive down to Stockholm, and we get there, and there's only 3 people there. And it's a service, it's a situation where you're thinking to yourself, what could really happen here? What could actually happen? But of course, as we all know, God only needs 2 or 3. And so we moved in that service, and there was tons of interpretation there. There was tons of interpretation in that service, and God moved again at the altar call. And so of course, I said, okay, I'll come back. And so I get home, and I apply for AIM, and every Thanksgiving, my family gets together, we go up to Pembroke, and we have a big family meeting, we have a good time. And so I'd already applied to AIM, and I thought to myself, this would be a good time to share with my family my future plans that I'm going to apply to go be an aimer over in Stockholm. And so I showed them the pictures that I took whenever I went with the Pickards, and I was showing them, and then at the end I wrapped it up and I said, I've applied to go as an aimer over in Stockholm. This is what I plan to do with my life. And so I get home and I go to bed, and that night that I made the announcement, something happened. My neck became extremely hot. My ear became extremely hot, and a voice came in my ear, and it was trying to tell me what I couldn't do. It was saying, you can't do this, and you can't do that. And the funny thing is, I never understood what it was trying to tell me that I couldn't do. I could understand the you can't part, but I could never understand what it was trying to tell me I couldn't do. And I immediately jolted up in my bed, and I started praising God, and immediately the heat from my ear and the heat from my neck just vanished. And it was gone, and the voice was gone. And so, I just tell my family, hey, this is what I'm planning, and already the devil's freaking out and he's trying to tell me what I can and cannot do. And so we fast forward a couple months, and we go to April of this year, and I get to Sweden, I get to Stockholm, and it's my first week there. You know, I'm having a good time. I arrived on April 4th, and so we moved just a couple more days over to April 7th. For some reason, my papa, Brother Kingsley, had an inkling that morning to pray for me. And let me just stop and say this. If you have an inkling to pray for someone, please do it. You could save their life. As you will see. So, for some reason, Brother Kingsley, he had the inkling to pray for me that morning. Well, over on the other side of the ocean, hopping the pond, I'm traveling around Stockholm, I'm having a good time, I'm rolling through Old Town, and it's about 3:30, so I decide it's time to head home. I go to Central Station, and I got my headphones plugged in, I'm jamming out, and I see, you know, a little side street over to my right. It's a pedestrian street, and it's completely filled with people, and there's a bunch of shops, and I hadn't been down it yet, so I thought to myself, man, that looks like a bunch of fun. Why don't we go down this street? And so I start strolling down the street, and I've got my headphones on, and I'm listening to my music, and I'm having a good time, and I'm thinking to myself, well, this is just great. I'm integrating myself into the Stockholm rush hour. I'm in the Swedish culture, you know? And then suddenly, there's a crash off in the distance, and if I'm walking away, there's a crash off in the distance, and I stop and I look up, and I see people running every direction. Well, this is odd, because it's a pedestrian street. And then suddenly I see it, and there's a truck coming down this pedestrian street. And in that moment, I just completely froze standing there, and my mind immediately went back to the attacks in Nice, France. My best friend lives in Nice, and he was right there when he was, you know, in the city when that happened. And then my mind flashed back to my current situation, which said, we should probably get moving. And so, if the platform is the road, I am on the right side of the road. There's shops, there's buildings on both sides, and the truck is coming down the left-hand side. Well, I turn and start bolting it this way, as any sane person would do. And I'm trying to look for a doorway to duck into. I'm trying to look for a side street to escape into, and there's just nothing. There's just nowhere to go. And I remember in the back of my mind the speed that I saw that truck coming down the road, and it was moving fast. So I had, for some reasons, the presence of mind to peek behind me and look over my shoulder to see where it was at that point in time. And as I peek behind my shoulder, I see that it is no longer on the left side of the street, but is now on the right side, about maybe 15 meters behind me. And it is moving. And at that point in time, when I peeked behind my shoulder, I seriously thought to myself, this is it. This is the end of Craig Christoffersen. This is the end chapter. This is the last page of my book. It was moving so quick. And out of my peripheral vision, when I peeked back to see that truck, I saw a side street over to my right. So I said, this is it. This is the last chance that I got to be alive. And so I start running to the right, and the truck just barely misses me by about 3 to 4 meters. And what I didn't know until a couple weeks later is that that truck was actually filled with explosives. And that never went off. The truck continued on down the street. It crashed into the store where I could have dashed into. And it went all the way down the street, crossing a couple more blocks, and ended up crashing into a department store. The explosives never went off. If we could go ahead and throw up that short picture. I was making a video for my home church, and I went online and I was looking up, news footage of the Stockholm attack to put it in to kind of show them what happened. And I was looking at this, and for about a week, I was editing this video, and I didn't even realize that I was in it. I finally saw, this guy running across the street and dipping to the right, and I looked at it and I thought to myself, that's exactly how I ran. And I looked in and I zoomed in on his book bag and I zoomed in on his shoes, and I was like, oh my goodness, that is me. And so, if we want to move to that first picture, whenever I show people this video, they usually don't know who I am. They can never really pick me out. So what I've done is I've circled myself. So I am this pixel blur that you see in this red circle here. All right, and if we could just start moving through the pictures. So I start moving across this doorway. This is the security camera from the doorway. Just flip through it. So you see me right now. I'm running across this doorway. And you can actually see just faintly in the pictures, there's this white string. My backpack is white string, so that was a way that I could identify myself. Also, I was wearing a dark jacket, dark jeans. So I moved across this doorway. You can just see my foot coming along on this left pixel here as we continue to move on. And now the truck is just coming right here. So if you're counting the steps, there's only I take about 3 steps out of the way, out of the path of the truck. Because the truck just shortly here is going to be moving on the right side of the frame. There it is, first little pixel block, here it comes. I'm still on the left, right up there by the mannequin's head. Circled red, that's the truck. You can just see my book bag with the mannequin's head. I'm about 3 steps out right now. Truck comes through, and that's that. So that's how close I was. After that happened, a lot of people from my high school who knew me, they started texting my best friends when they found out I was, right there. And they were like, is Craig coming home? Is he done? He's coming home, right? Well, I'm happy to stand in front of you and say, I'm not going to let a little opposition make me abandon my mission. Stand in front of you and say that I completed my 3-month mission there, and not only that, but I am currently in the process of reapplying to go back. I'm not going away. When God gives you a mission, when God gives you, signs that He is with you wherever you are, you better stay there. If you're feeling inspired, if you're feeling like maybe you want to do some of this missions work, if you just want to take a trip, all you have to do is make yourself available. Just open up your schedule just for a couple of weeks. What could be so bad about it? You're just, even if you're not a missionary, I didn't think I was going here. I didn't think I'd be going to Stockholm to be working in this church. If you don't think you're a missionary, that's okay. 2 weeks dedicating yourself to God is never a bad thing. If you want to see what He can do, just make yourself available. Amen. You can go ahead and play the video.
I think that's something great watching you now. We do move on tonight into the other major story developing at this hour, the deadly truck attack in Sweden with all the hallmarks of terrorism, the attacker using a vehicle as a weapon. That stolen truck speeding for blocks down a crowded pedestrian mall, then slamming into a department store, people running for their lives.
John 4:4 says, "Greater is He that is in me than he that is in the world." That means that if we take everything in the universe, we take everything in the entire cosmos and we put it up against just us, just one Holy Ghost-filled Christian, we would still win. With God on our side, we are greater. Over the next 24 hours, 353,000 children will be born. We are the ones who have the opportunity to shape their futures. We are the ones who have the opportunity to speak a word of hope, and we are the ones who have the chance to introduce them to something greater. Newton's third law of motion says that for every action, there must be a reaction. And so as the world pushes on the church, and as sin pushes on the church, we must push back. In this time of darkness that wars against us, there's a global need that cries out across the world, and we must respond. We have to introduce that need to something greater. And that something greater is what lives in us.